Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. You're going to be seeing this video on Wednesday, but I'm recording this on Tuesday. I won't be releasing a video today, but I do have a live stream tonight at 8 o'clock. However, by the time you're watching this, you will have missed it, so watch the replay. Today is a special occasion for me. It is the day about once a year where I retire my trusty Mueller stone ceramic frying pan that I've been using for about a year. It's discolored a little bit. It's got a few scratches in it. I bought two of these not too long ago when they were on sale for 25 bucks. They were on sale recently. They may still be on sale. And we'll talk about that later. But I am retiring this frying pan. It's going to go in the trash. There's no reason for me to save old frying pans. And I am going to inaugurate a brand new one. Always a thrill, like Christmas, to open a brand new. What is my favorite frying pan? Says congratulations. So congratulations to me. Oh, look at that. A thing of beauty. And I expect that it will do its job like the old one did and serve me very well as I cook hundreds of meals of bacon and eggs. And this video is about what I eat in a day. And you're going to see my complete day of eating, an average day for me. Probably the most common of days. And the reason why I think the carnivore lifestyle is so simple and sustainable. I mean, we talk about other recipes. I have a lot of recipes for many things, many oddball things that I don't eat on a regular basis. But what I do at least 6 days a week is eat the same few foods. Never get bored. Always look forward to them. They're always delicious. They're always satisfying. Bacon and eggs is my go-to first meal of the day. Generally around 11 o'clock in the morning. Try to eat my 2 meals within a 4 or at most 5 hour eating window. And for this video showing a typical day of how I do carnivore most days. We're not going to talk about ribs and chicken and fish and pork rind coated stuff. We're going to talk about bacon, eggs, and beef. Bacon, eggs, and beef make up my diet 5 and most often 6 days a week. It's simple, it's fast, doesn't make a big mess, comes out fabulous every time. And I'm going to take you through that. We're going to make bacon and eggs. My first meal of the day. This is a quick, easy meal. I generally eat about a half a pound of bacon. And depending on the size of the eggs, if they're huge eggs, maybe 4 or 5. If they're a little smaller, 5 or 6. And I like my eggs omelet style, so I'm going to beat them in a cup. First thing I'm going to do is get my bacon and eggs out of the refrigerator. This is pretty thick cut stuff here. So I'm going to start with maybe 4 slices, which is almost an inch thick. And I think that 4 slices of this should be enough. If it was a little thinner, I might go for 5 slices. And I put them in the pan. I always put the fat side of the bacon towards the top because it will curl this way when it cooks, and I like to have them all curl the same way, and I put them up end to end, and it's kind of a ritual that I have. And we're going to let the bacon start to pan fry in its own bacon grease. Next, I'm going to take my eggs, and I have 5 eggs left here in this particular 18 egg carton. I'm going to go ahead and eat all 5 of them. So the bacon is cooking. I use Redmond's real salt. Put a little shake of that in there. And then part of my ritual, and I beg your indulgence and ask you to kindly excuse me while I beat my eggs. Thank you. And there you have it. That really is about all the work involved. We'll put the eggs over here and wait for the bacon to cook. The bacon will take a few minutes to cook. So while it's cooking, let's talk about what my second meal of the day is going to be. My second meal of the day is going to be this ribeye that is thawed, still vacuum sealed, not salted yet. But I am going to sous vide this thing, and it will take 2 hours to sous vide, and a little time for the sous vide bath to heat up. So I'm going to figure 2.5 hours. So if I want to eat this at 4 o'clock this afternoon, at about 1:30, I'm going to put this in the sous vide bath. I'll bring you back for that. Doesn't take long. It's important that we make note of how much fat we're getting, because getting the right amount of fat in a day is one of the few things we really should be concerned about. We've talked many times about how to gauge whether you're getting enough fat. It usually involves bathroom talk. So we'll forego that, and I have videos about that. But there's a way to tell if you're getting enough fat, too much fat, or not enough fat. If you eat the right foods in nature, they're packaged. They're packaged with the appropriate amount of fat. Eggs have exactly the right amount of fat in them. So I know that if I eat these 5 eggs, I'm getting exactly the amount of fat I need. Bacon also has a tremendous amount of fat. I'm not going to eat all of it, but I am going to save some of it in my little bacon grease container, because I use bacon grease for other things, especially deep frying some of my little specialty items. But I am going to leave enough bacon grease in the pan so that the egg will soak up. And I think, based on doing this for 2 years and having everything work right, and this being my primary and most common day of eating, that I'm getting just the right amount of fat. I'm getting the right amount of fat. The tools that I'm going to be using today, you've pretty much seen them already. I've got my Mueller frying pan. I've got my bacon grease catcher. I'm going to be using this Dubai 11-inch carbon steel pan when I sear my steak. I'm going to be sous videing in this afternoon, sous videing the steak. And this consists of two separate items, the immersion circulator and the tub that comes with the lid, and it comes with a rack to hold the food in place. So, this frying pan I use to cook my bacon and eggs. The sous vide I use to cook my steak. Take me 30 seconds to put the steak in it, and I come back 2.5 hours later, and it'll take me 3 minutes to sear it off. I eat my steak off of this wooden plate, which I love. Gives me kind of a primal feeling. So this is something that's a part of my daily routine, and I have a really nice little Damascus knife that I use to cut my steak when I eat it off of that wood board. And that's just something that I really enjoy doing. And that's all the tools and all the food that I need. That's it for my average day of eating. And if I had nothing else, if I had none of these other gadgets, just having a vacuum sealer, one air fryer for some of those other things like chicken wings that I make. I've got a smoker outside now, so occasionally I smoke some ribs or some chicken wings. But the most common, the everyday things that I do require very few tools and very little time or energy or cleanup to make. It's a fabulous, easy way of eating. I keep my used little Ziploc bag. I will take the eggshells and put them in there. I have a strainer in my sink to keep the grease out. I can clean that out in there, so none of that stuff needs to go down the drain. I have my bacon grease catcher, and when it gets full, I have these 1 quart, like Chinese soup takeout containers. I get them from Amazon, and when this thing gets full, it fills up 2 of those. So the bacon is almost done. Look at that. Beautiful. Perfect. So we'll take the bacon. And the cool thing about doing it the way I do is most of them just stick together. It makes it real easy to flip over, take out of the pan. I will take and pour some of the bacon grease out of the pan into the catcher. Then I'll wipe it off the bottom. Give the burner a quick wipe. Pan back on. Pour the eggs in. And that's it. Bacon's done. Eggs will be done in a minute. Cleanup. What cleanup? What cleanup? That's it. Have a few little dishes to rinse off. We will take throw that paper towel away. and let our egg cook and harden up. I like my omelets well done. You can cook your eggs any way you like. You want over easy, hard boiled, soft boiled, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you eat the eggs and all of the eggs, the yolk, the whites, everything. Because the amount of nutrition in this breakfast is perfect. It's perfect. And that's our main goal here doing carnivore, is to make sure that we get the broadest range of all of the nutrients that we need. And there are very few foods on the planet that contain all of the nutrients necessary to build life. And one of those foods is a chicken egg, or a duck egg, or a quail egg. Because when you stop to think about it, everything necessary to build a living organism is contained within that egg. Nothing comes from outside. All the fat, all the cholesterol, all the amino acids, all the proteins, all the vitamins, all the minerals, even the electrolytes, everything that's needed for a healthy living chicken to pop out is right there in that frying pan right now. I think bacon and eggs, contrary to all the propaganda, could be one of the healthiest meals a human being could eat. Now we're going to flip the egg over. And that's exactly how I like it. So turn the heat off. Let it harden up on the bottom a little bit. And there we have a 5-egg omelet. Done. Now, one of the really cool things is, look at this. All the grease, all except a few little crumbs from the bacon. This pan is essentially clean. When it cools off, I'll either take a dish towel or a paper towel and just wipe it out and leave whatever microscopic coating of bacon grease is left on it. That's my breakfast. All the tools, everything I used here today. Amazon links to those things can be found on my website. None of them are very expensive. oldguycarnivore.com, on the page called Links to Stuff I Use Every Day. Check it out. oldguycarnivore.com, links to stuff I use every day. I'm going to eat my breakfast now. I'll be back about 1:30 and we'll throw the steak in the sous vide. But that was easy. So until then, we'll see you later. It's time to put the ribeye steak in the sous vide. All this takes is a minute. We'll take the immersion circulator here and plug it in. We'll check the temperature, 128 degrees. We'll set it for 2 hours. Press start. And then we'll just take the ribeye, stick it down in the rack. Make sure it's completely under the water. Shut the lid. And we'll see you at 4 o'clock when we'll sear this thing off for a couple of minutes in carbon steel, and that will be all there is to cooking our second meal of the day. Well, the steak is done in the sous vide. I'm going to come over here, take my carbon steel pan. I'm going to turn it on to medium high. so we can sear this off. I'm going to sear it in butter. So we'll get some butter ready for that. Let the pan get hot. Once we take the steak out of the sous vide bag, we're going to have to dry it off. So I'll take some paper towels, set them down right there. Grab my bag. Get a scissors and take the steak out of the bag and put it down on the paper towel. Now, at this point, it doesn't look all that appetizing. It looks wet and soggy, but that's okay. That's okay, because that's what searing it's going to do to fix it. So we'll wait for the pan to get hot. Put a little butter, about a 1/2 inch pat. So we're going to salt this. I'm going to use some Himalayan pink salt. Just one side will be enough. Don't want to over salt it. You can use this little infrared thermometer to see how the pan's coming. 342 degrees right now. We want to sear the edges. This is not one of the really thicker steaks, but that's the nice thing about sous vide, is it, no matter how thin or thick it is, it's going to be cooked exactly the same way. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to set it down flat. I'm going to sear it for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes aside. I'm going to use this wooden plate to eat my steak on and cut it with this nice Damascus knife, very sharp knife. But that's going to be all there is to it. There we go. Okay, let's cut into this and see how it came out. Now, we don't really need to rest a steak that's been sous vide because it never got that hot inside. This one was done to 128 degrees. So let's just cut and see what kind of a temperature we have. Still nice and pink inside. Like I say, even though it's not the thickest steak, it looks delicious. So let's see how this tastes. Very good, very good. So this is my second meal of the day. About a pound of ribeye. That's a total of about 2 pounds of food. The bacon and the eggs. It is 4 o'clock now. About a 5-hour eating window today. 3 different types of food. Bacon, eggs, and ribeye. And that's more than enough food for me. And certainly, I'm not going to be hungry until around noontime tomorrow. So with that, my friends, I'm going to finish my dinner, and as usual, I'm going to give you all the rest of the day off and tell you to eat meat.